Well, hello there, Tuber-Rubers and Tuberettes alike. It's a short talk on the highway. This is I-25. Now you can see right there we're 170 miles away from Albuquerque. Albuquerque is pretty much in the center of the state. New Mexico is a large state area-wise, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little view of what this part of the state does look like. Perhaps you've heard me mention in the past that those places that are all unnaturally overgrown, where you can never actually see the dirt, they kind of, make me kind of wonder, hey, is this legit, Hey, I wanted to let you see my little flaggity flag. I'm trying to drive with my knees. I've had that flag hanging out there for about 3 weeks now, and I haven't got a single comment from anybody. And I just wanted, it's too bad I'm such a bad cameraman. I just wanted to give you an idea of, if you have any interest. This is mile 53, so mile 0, or whatever, mile 1, is right back in Las Cruces where I came from. So that's a nice little way of counting up. I've gone 53 miles north of University Street, I guess, in Cruces. So anyhow, we got a nice trip set up. We're going to go down to Albuquerque, and I was going to give you maybe an idea of what Caballo Lake or Reservoir looks like. Now, in such a dry environment, when you do have a lake, it always seems strangely displaced. It's like, hey, what's that doing here? And the lakes in Nevada are very similar. In other words, it's not a green, lush environment and in the middle a body of water. No, you're in the middle of a desert. What's that thing doing here? And anyway, Caballo will be coming up. The Rio was dammed twice, and I really don't know what that's all about, why they chose to go that route, the irrigation district or whoever it was. The main one is called Elephant Butte, and if you ever get to Elephant Butte in New Mexico, there's a small village there by that name, but you can go down to the, I guess you call it a small town. You can go down to the, oh boy, that wrist is getting stiff. Getting old for this stuff. Anyway, you can get on down there, and that's the main one. Now, downstream of Elephant Butte, which is the direction we're coming from, that is to say we're going south to north, we'll run into a second reservoir. That one's called Caballo, and that's a male horse there. And by the way, here's my supreme command of English in my own native language, of Spanish. In other words, a caballo is a male horse. I guess a mare is never going to be a caballa. And I just notice the John Law cops, the state PD. I saw 4 of those guys in the first 30 miles of this trip. And by that, boy, I guess they're out in first today. Must be a good day for revenue enhancement, I suppose. Now look at this here. I really like the looks of them there hills. They look all brown, and it's almost like the moon or something. And to me, that's the way the world should look. All this unnatural green stuff everywhere makes me kind of a little bit edgy there. Hey, this can't be right. Who's paying the water bill around here? In New Mexico, water is at a premium, and of course we waste it like crazy. Irrigating for no reason at all vast tracts of residential areas. The university in Cruces in New Mexico State, I have no idea how much water they go through pumping water on the ground to make the green grass grow. And I think they must have $1 billion water budget or something. Now down here on my left that's the valley, that's the Rio Valley. Now, I'm really doing a bad job of filming this, by the way. The river's down there off to my left, and we'll cross it here on the highway after a little while. And then kind of I guess you call it, that's about the only fertile area around here. People grow hay down there, alfalfa, and they grow, cabbage and onions and green chili, of course. Now, we just passed Hatch a little while ago, and that's, I don't know if you ever heard of Hatch green chili or not. But anyhow, whether you have or haven't, anyway, the soil down here, I guess, it adds something to the flavor, I guess. The Hatch chili supposedly has a kind of like a proprietary flavor. Did you see the hot spring sign? I just wanted to point that out. Up north here is a place called Truth or Consequences. And if you know the story of this, we just crossed the Rio. And if you know the story of this, we're going to, Caballo's coming up here quick. And the situation was a guy named Ralph Edwards came down, who was a TV producer at the time, and he offered, kind of like a bundle package. Hey, if you'll change the name of your town to the same name as my TV show, and he promised them some stuff. And for years and years, he delivered. They had kind of a little parade day, and Ralph would show up, and he'd be riding in the back of a convertible and whatnot. But anyway, they changed the name from Hot Springs to TRC, Truth or Consequences. And that's kind of a weird name for a town. But Hot Springs was closer. There's a lot of real nice hot springs down in that area, right along. They're pretty much along the river basin, and I guess it's geothermal. Given that, it's kind of like bath water, probably 85, more than 85 degrees, probably less than 120. You won't get burned by it, but it's very relaxing to sit in that hot water. I've only done it a couple of times, and the city, it's never really grown much. I will drive by it here in about another 25 minutes, and I'm not going to be filming that long. TRC is nowhere to look at. I mean, it's like one of those places in New Mexico, well, I'm from TRC. Well, good. Get the heck as far away from there as you can. Hillsboro's coming up, and it's off to the left out here. It gets into some real nice country off to the left. It doesn't look like it from here, but there's actually some very nice mountain country up there. A lot of pines, and of course the Forest Service continues to mismanage the area, so it's covered with dead wood, and it's just like a magnet for fires. Recently they had a big old fire out in Ruidoso, which is another town. Now here we go. This is what I wanted you to see. See, there is evidence, proof positive, that in New Mexico there is some water. That's Caballo there. You can get out there, the power boat. A lot of people go fishing, jet skis, stuff like that. And on the 4th of July weekend, it's going to be really crowded out there. If you wanted to camp, you could, if you can find a spot. It's going to be a lot of folks at the lake today. I've already seen 3 or 4 vehicles heading north with jet skis on board. So that's really what I wanted you to see, that there is actually in the state of New Mexico a body of water. And of course, you can't hardly see it because them darn trees all over the place. So you guys have a good day. Have a safe 4th. And find a place to celebrate where you can value the independence that only God brings. Hey, before I go, Karen Kwiatkowski. Golly, I'm glad I wrote that name down. I mentioned her briefly yesterday, Judge Napolitano, but this is the second interview I watched with this lady, and I think I'm in love. I tell you what, this lady talks sense. She's wholesome. She's realistic. She's truthful. She's kind-hearted. I mean, this lady's a gem. And I'm so glad to have discovered her as a kind of a source. She's an I think, colonel or lieutenant colonel or something in the USAF. And boy, if you want a taste of sobriety and sanity, listen to Karen talk with the judge, and you'll come out listening and thinking, oh, it's like shaking off a hallucination. It's like coming out of a dream. Oh, reality. Now I remember. And all these uppity, downity hills. This is what it's like driving across this part of the state. So if you ever have any inkling to travel to southern New Mexico, drop into the lakes, because I mean, let's face it, they're pretty darn rare down here. The two phrases, water features and the state of New Mexico do not blend well. The two ideas tend to contradict each other. Have a nice day and have a 4th, and remember what the independence was for, so that you would have the freedom to seek out the king in his face and declare his excellence. That's my opinion. Have a good day. Bye-bye.